Bitcoin price update on the 4-hour chart. We're going to zoom out after this. We're going to look at the 3-day and we'll look at the weekly. Some big things potentially happening on the weekly, and I'm talking very bigly. We're going to get to that right at the end of this. Then we'll do our quote and card of the day as well. If you like the video, give us a thumbs up. If you want more help navigating this market cycle, you want daily Bitcoin updates, crypto updates across the board on every day of the week, consider subscribing through our Patreon group. You get access to our private Telegram alerts group there. A lot more content. Let's get right to it. 4-hour chart. Coming into resistance. This will be more evident as we zoom out here. But even on the 4-hour, these previous range highs of 66K, we could very well hold here and consolidate, but that's not bearish at all, right? Nice big move over the past several candles here on the 4-hour chart. Consolidation would be probably well welcomed to kind of refuel, not get too far ahead of ourselves. But make no mistake, if we get through here and start to get up 68K, 69K for Bitcoin anytime this week, I think we have a huge opportunity just ahead of us to blast off in a big way. And again, that's going to be evident on the weekly chart. I'm going to show you what happened last time we did something like this. It was very big. All right, so 4-hour chart, consolidation. Could we blast off? Sure. But again, if we come back down, what do we want to hold? I'm glad you asked. Something around in this area, right? We don't ideally want to give back any more bullish momentum than we have to. That's around 63K. Anywhere in this zone, as long as we're holding above here, we don't have to come back here. We could hold the EMA 8, right? That would be great. If we come below this, it's not over, but our momentum would kind of shift back towards indecisiveness, if you will. Now, where would we definitely want to avoid? It's down here, right? If we go back under 60K again, if we get even back in this zone, it could be a huge fake out and we'd have some big trouble. I would say we're probably going back to low 50s if we come back down in here and close as a new low. So watch for that this week, even on the 4-hour chart. Yes. So to maintain bullish momentum right here, go back up to 60K and it might be over for the rest of the year. However, the bulls are here. Let's see if they show up big time. And even if we consolidate, no worries. We're consolidating between 64 to 63K and we're A-okay. If we get higher than 67, 68K, there's big momentum shifts happening. Okay, let's zoom out to the 3-day. Now you can see this level still relatively meaningless. On the weekly is where this trend line is drawn. And again, it's just a trend line, but we have been making lower highs since March, except we just made a higher high right here, right? Which we pointed out, and we move back down. We're still good. Higher low so far. Nice move over the past several 3-day candles. We'd love to close another third consecutive higher high. That would really solidify this being the bottom. And I think we would see not only range highs, but potentially all-time highs in the next several weeks if we can start to close. This candle closes today. So when we see this candle close, we would like to be above this close, which was our highest close, 65.6. Right? We want to continue to march up the stairs with higher lows, higher highs. This would be our another consecutive higher high after an additional higher low. Okay, so let's move out to the weekly where the big things are happening. Right now, you could check yourself on trend lines. Right? You don't want to really have any closing prices above here. There's a closing chart. You have 1, 2, 3. Now our 4th test of this line. And diagonal trend lines aren't as important as horizontal support and resistance, but something that's been on the cards since March. We're going to pay attention to if we can start to close outside of it this week. That would again solidify, even on the weekly, a third higher high. This would be very big. But not only that, but look at this. Let's do something that you probably haven't seen before, and let's remove Bitcoin prices. We're just looking at moving averages here. What's the significance here? Well, I want you to draw your attention to the EMA 8, the red line, and how it goes under the yellow line. What the hell do I mean by this? What does Bitcoin, what did it do last time when we did this on the weekly? Note also, when it did this, that was the low. The lowest close was right there, right after the EMA 8 crossed under the yellow, right? The very next week, the week of. The lowest the red was on the EMA 8 is the lowest the price was, right? All right. Go back to hidden, right? We're making this as simple as possible. We got to cross back above. Now the red is back on top, leading the way. The last time we did this, let's go look. This was the start of the next phase. This is phase one, get us out of the bear market, right? 2022, 2023. Low, EMA 8, the red, right under the yellow. Cross back up, right? Let's put the prices back on so we can see where the hell we are. Look what happened, right? This was phase one, consolidation for months. Phase two started right after we got our dip and our lowest prices. The EMA 8 was right under there. Hide it again, right? You can see a little bit more obvious now, but EMA 8, the lowest prices, right as the red goes under the yellow, comes back above, and look how coiled all the moving averages got. Great weekly move to the high side, 10% candle, followed by many more very bullish candles in the not so distant future. Take out your highs, and all bets are off. That would be phase two starting. Now we're looking at phase three starting. So we need a big bullish week. Would love to close above this. Again, 68K. If we can close above 68K this week, next week, whenever week, I think that scenario has a much higher probability of playing out. Definitely if it happens in the next couple of weeks. Something in October, if we can close in November, right, the first week in November, and we're at like 69, 70K. Realize the last time that happened with these moving averages, very similar. History doesn't repeat, but it does often rhyme. We could be witnessing our early phase three liftoff right here. Phase three is the best phase, right? That's when you go batshit with everything. Bitcoin dominance likely tops. Altcoins have their way. Alt season could be just around the corner, maybe even still this year. Perhaps for altcoins, we need to see if Bitcoin follows through here. We're looking for a close this week, ideally, right? It doesn't have to do this, but if we want the scenario to happen like we did back here, and we want prices to go astronomically high, I think we're all in that boat. We would love to see a big bullish close this week above 68. Let's go 68.5 or higher. That would be a pretty big week. That's a tall ask, right? We'd have to get like double-digit close. A 10% close gets us to 69K. Moving averages coiled up again, just like previously. And look at that. Coiled up, moving averages coiled up just after the EMA 8 dipped below, came back above. We're like, could be in this very week right here. If we're going to rhyme. Again, doesn't take out all the highs yet, but within the next, sometime in October, if we're at all-time highs, odds are highly probable that we're going to phase three, and phase three is liftoff, and would very likely see Bitcoin at triple digits and then some. Altcoins could absolutely explode in the not so distant future if that plays out. Right, altcoins would love to ride the coattails of Bitcoin into the stratosphere, and we could be on the verge of just such a thing. All right, questions, comments, thoughts? Like to read them just below. Let me know what you think. Quote card of the day. But he that declares dares not grasp the thorn should never crave the rose. Right? If you're not willing to risk it, you don't deserve the biscuit. That's put way better. All right. Car of the day. Porsche 911 GT3 RS. A lot of carbon fiber. I saw one of these in person at a gas station over the weekend. They are so cool to see in person. A lot of carbon fiber, a lot of extra stuff. The wings are amazing, like park benches. Very expensive park benches, but I mean, look at that thing. Amazing to see in real life. They're pretty rare. I mean, for $300,000 plus, they probably should be pretty rare, right? The single-digit hubcaps, right? Look at that. The racing, remarkable. Happen to have a GT3 right here. There you go, yellow. Look at the wheels. I like the yellow on the wheels. But these are great. Though the one I saw was red, and I had bronze wheels, and it was red, but it looked just like this. Amazing. All right, quote card of the day: Bitcoin launching to GT3 RS territory.